everybody, it's your life coach Alyssa Hammond here, and today I wanted to talk to you about the ground rules of fighting. This topic, it just seemed like the universe was calling me to do it because I had 4 clients call me in 24 hours saying that they got in a huge fight with their significant other because of a lack of communication. So I ended up telling pretty much the same thing to all 4 of them, so I just thought I would go through some of the ground rules for when you're arguing with your significant other, or really if you want to argue with anybody in a respectful way. Number 1, speak from your feelings and not making accusations of what the other person has done to you. So by that I mean, it's so much more effective to say, when you say things like that, it feels mean-spirited, or it hurts my feelings, it makes me feel unlovable, it makes me feel not valued, whatever you guys are fighting about. That's so much stronger as far as evoking emotion from your partner and getting your point across than saying anything along the lines of, you do this and that which makes me act this way. Instead of making it about what they've done wrong, make it about how you've been feeling and what you think the solution is to how you've been feeling. One of the things I always say is, actually, let's make this number 2. Ask yourself, is what I'm saying right now benefiting the conversation? So, for example, one of my clients was saying that she said something and he responded with, well, now I finally agree with you for once. So that stung her, obviously, and it didn't get them any closer to resolution. So even though he may look at it as somewhat innocent, because you could almost argue, I was saying I agree with them, but you're actually making a dig, and if you truly asked yourself if you're getting any closer to resolution, you could probably argue you're taking a step back, because now that person is thinking, okay, so, they're obviously not over it, or they want to keep fighting, or they're trying to make me feel like shit. None of those are good ways to be making the other person feel. So focus on, is what I'm saying headed toward resolution? Or is what I'm saying digging up old battles that have nothing to do with this? Is what I'm saying dignifying me mistreating my partner when I know I shouldn't have been acting that way? Number 3, listen to their feelings and respond. Don't just wait for them to be quiet so you can speak. We all do this, okay? This was hard for me to unlearn because we all fight like this. We wait for the person to shut up so that we can get our point across. But we're not actually really listening to what they're saying. So here's something I learned in my college psychology class that totally changed the way I'll view fighting forever. They said, when you're fighting with someone, the worst thing you can do is roll your eyes, because that shows contempt. Just, if you do eye rolls, just stop. It's not doing anybody any good. The other thing they said is, we have this urge to speak over each other because the most important thing in a fight is to feel understood. But what we do is we don't actually listen to what the other person is struggling with. And so we end up having these fights over and over because you get to the end of the fight and a lot of the times you're no closer to really understanding what the issue was. So what they said in the psychology class is that the best way to fight is that each person gets to take a turn to say whatever they need to say. So let's say person A is talking. Person B has to sit and wait until person A is done talking. And you can say, are you done yet? Which at first when I heard, I was like, that would piss me off if someone said that to me. But you're saying, are you finished talking yet? And then you can respond. And if the person isn't finished, then that's their chance to say, no, I've got more to say. And then they get it out. One of the things that is very hard for a lot of people to drop is they want to get a thought out while they have it. You're super deep into a fight and you want that other person so deeply to understand where you're coming from that they'll say something, it flips this little switch and you have this memory in your head, oh, I should bring that up. So then you're waiting for them to finish so that you can insert what you're saying. But again, you're not listening to them. And in psych class, we said to our professor, I think a lot of people talk over someone because they want to make sure that they don't forget. And the professor said, if you forget, was it that important though? And that blew my mind because it's just a totally different way of fighting. It's a way where someone feels completely heard. With that way of fighting, you cut the chances of offending someone probably in half, just by waiting for them to finish talking and not rolling your eyes. So those are 2 little side bonuses that weren't even on my list of the top 10 ground rules for fighting. So I guess you're getting 12. So number 4 is, don't make assumptions about who the other person is or is not. Ellie's here. Can you come get on my lap? Oh God, you're so heavy. Okay. Let's turn around. Okay. So don't make assumptions about who the person is or is not. So by that I mean, we all get into fights, especially if we've been together for a long time, and assume the way that the other person's going to react. Or we're like, I know he's going to freak out if I talk to him about this. If you act totally differently because you're thinking that they're going to get upset, or let's say you hide something because you think they're going to be upset, they're going to be upset because you're expecting it of them and you're treating them differently. So Noli's bored of this topic, so she's going to just lay down. Let's tilt it so she can be part of the action. Okay, Noli's back. So, neck rolls. Oh. Hi. Sorry, I just had to have a quick 3-minute makeout session with my dog. Everyone kisses their dog like 300 plus times a day, right? Is that not normal? Well, it's not going to stop me because we're in love. Don't let her lick inside my mouth if that helps. So if you make assumptions that you can't say something to someone because they won't care or they're not willing to listen, you're making that decision for them and you're not even giving them the chance to prove you wrong. So if you make that assumption that they're not going to listen to you, you're causing yourself unnecessary hurt. You're just like assuming it's going to be awful. So you make it something you can't even approach. And how awful is that to be dealing with that forever? In other news, this is really great lighting to see how pretty Noli's brindle coloring is. Noli's gonna nap for a bit. She's exhausted from all this conversation. Yeah, so if you make assumptions that they are or are not able to make changes, it causes this whole new fight when you could have been done, like get done your first one before you start a new one. That should be another tip. We can call that 4.5. Number 5 was my mom's favorite quote when I was growing up. It is, you can say anything as long as it's from a place of love. So the reason that she says that is because she thinks part of loving someone is being truthful with them and saying things to them even if maybe they're not ready to hear it. If you say all things with love, then the person you're fighting with knows that you have the best intention during these fights, and that will immediately help them bring down any guards that they have up. When you can always take what you're saying and handle it gently, they'll just naturally come out better than if your goal is to win. I don't even know why I said 10 tips. I mean, this is like 15. Here's Noli again. Are you up from your nap? Listen, I'm sorry my dog's here, but I'm a working mom, and this is my baby. What do you want me to do? Number 6, never mention divorce or breakup during the fight. This is for 2 reasons. One of them is that most people, when they're saying they want a divorce or they want to break up, it's because they're trying to get a rise out of the person that they're talking to. So you may get a rise out of them, but you're going to regret it and you're going to pay for it later because they're never going to be secure in your relationship anymore because now they know that for you, breaking up is on the table. And communicating from a place of love, which is rule number 5, means you're not threatening them to try and get them to make changes. The second part of why someone would mention divorce or breakup during a fight is that they're serious about it. So if you do feel like you want to end the relationship, then that's actually not something I think should be done during a fight. You're fighting, and let's say you guys decide to get a divorce. And if you have kids or you live together, you have pets, you still have to get through all of this crap. You need to try and get through the fight. And then when you're in a clearer state of mind, that's when you make that decision. Because if you try and end a relationship as a result of a fight, you're just going to both end up hurt and both end up without closure. My argument in all this is that you need to find resolution on this topic no matter what. Make that a priority over deciding if you're going to break up or stay together. Number 7 is something I feel like I talk about in every video. It's the tube of toothpaste theory. When you squeeze toothpaste out of the tube, it's very hard to put it back. It's the same way with words. If you say something very hurtful, they're going to remember that. And definitely don't write it out via text or via email because things can easily be misconstrued. In fact, if you haven't seen my video on the do's and don'ts of texting in relationship, I'll link that here so that you can watch it because that's another one that's going to be important as far as communication techniques go. So in summary of number 7, don't say anything that you can't take back because words sting and they will stick with people, especially if it's someone who was feeling even mildly self-conscious about their role in the relationship. Number 8 is don't make threats. So it's kind of like number 6 in that don't mention divorce or breakup, but number 6 is more about getting a rise out of that person on things you don't actually mean. Number 8 with making threats aren't going to get anybody anywhere, and There is a difference between saying this is something that needs to change or else I need to reconsider being in this relationship versus grow the hell up or I'm kicking your ass out on the street. Pretty similar message, but totally different delivery. So again, it goes back to the whole delivering things from a place of love and just trying to prioritize finding resolution to the issue over being right. Number 9, don't meet negativity with negativity. So I make my clients say to me, I will not stoop to the other person's level. And the reason I say that is because it's kind of empowering to say to yourself, no matter what that person is feeling, I'm gonna meet what they say with compassion and empathy. And number 10 is explore feelings with curiosity. So by that I mean, let's say the other person has a very negative reaction to something you're saying that's truthful and from the heart. It can be really, really powerful to say, what do you think is causing you to feel this strong of a reaction to what I said? And it almost forces people to come down on their defensiveness, because instead of just spewing their story and trying to get their point across, they're actually saying, why am I this upset about this topic? It's not even that big of a deal. So those are the top 10 tips. I know that was actually like 12 or 13, but I wanted to make sure that you had the ground rules there because all couples need to argue. It's just reality. It's not just about having the perfect person. It's about both making a commitment to truly understand the other person and putting that above being right. So let's make that the final one. Number 11, don't make it about being right. Make it about finding resolution over all else. And if you just try to speak openly from a place of love, you're not trying to hide anything, you try to understand where the other person's coming from, you meet their emotions with curiosity and kindness and empathy, you're careful with the words that you use, you don't make threats, you will have a much more successful argument. Because again, they need to happen. If you have these ground rules, you can find resolution a lot more quickly. So whoever the first person to comment on this, that they use these techniques and it worked, I'm going to be so excited. So is Noli, because I really want to see if they help the general public, because they've helped a lot of my clients. So let me know. And if there's any other topics you want me to cover, shoot me an email. I'll leave my information below or leave comments here. I'm always bored. I'd love to see if you have any other ground rules. And if you like this video, as always, hit the like button below, comment, and definitely subscribe because I'll be coming out with a new video every week on living your best life. Thanks, guys.